Hey everyone, Mr. Say here. This is an updated lap guide for Circuit de la Sarthe with the Alpine VGT Group 1. Let's get this started. Take this first turn at full throttle, and right after you complete it, start to brake. Try to brake in a straight line. Slowly ease off of the braking and apply a little bit of throttle, and you won't start to fully accelerate until you are nearly done with the turn. Try not to cut into the curb or the first apex because that can likely get you a penalty. For this next turn, you want to start to brake a little bit after you pass the very end of this piece of tarmac that is on the right. Brake hard for a moment, then start to ease off on the braking and slowly start to apply the throttle. Your turning point will be right after the blue runoff area on the right starts. Ease off on the throttle as you start to turn. You can take advantage of the curb right here, but make sure you get your tires back on the track before the curb ends, because if you overshoot it even just by a tiny bit, you will end up with a penalty. Your braking point will be this photographer that is here on the left. Brake at full power in a straight line, and when you start to turn, start to slowly ease off the braking. When you hit the apex, start to apply a little bit of throttle and gradually apply more and more throttle. Don't forget that this car is a rear engine rear wheel drive, so it can be really easy to give too much power to the wheels and cause the wheels to spin. The process that was done with the last chicane will be applied to this chicane as well. So brake a little bit before the 100 meter mark and brake hard in a straight line, then slowly ease off on the braking. When you hit the apex, slowly apply the throttle. You want to be a little more careful since the end of the chicane is a tiny bit more sharp than the last chicane. For this turn, you want to start to brake right before the white line on the right ends. Brake in a straight line, and when you're ready to turn, start to ease off on the braking. This will get the car to rotate, so then you can start to apply some throttle, get the car positioned to point towards the next section of the track, and then go out full throttle. Ease up on the throttle once you start to turn, but then right before this curb on the right ends, you want to start to brake. You need to try to brake in a straight line to make sure that the car doesn't get this insane oversteer. So brake in a straight line, then ease up on the braking, and wait until you hit the apex before you start to accelerate. Then you will start to brake well before the 50 meter mark, and you will brake in a straight line, because the moment you want to start to turn, you will release all your braking almost immediately. Then apply a little bit of throttle once you hit the apex, get the car pointed towards the next section of the track, and start to fully accelerate. When you enter this green area that is on the left, that is where you will start to brake. However, you need to use a little bit less than half of your braking power, because if you brake at full power, this car is going to oversteer like crazy. So use a little bit less than half of your braking power, so you'll be trail braking through this turn and start to apply the throttle once you hit the apex. This turn can be taken at full throttle, but for these next few turns, use a lot of throttle control. Take notice how I don't even use the brakes here. Just a lot of throttle control, and the turning will do the decelerating for me. Start to brake right before the solid lines that are ahead of the car join together. Point towards the chicane and start to brake in a straight line. You'll be doing some braking control here, So once you're about to approach the chicane, start to ease off on some of the braking. Get the car towards the middle of the track right here, and you'll be doing a bit more braking control. Take advantage of the curb right here, stabilize the car, fully accelerate, and you are good to go.